I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Cultworthy. We are a couple weeks past Valentine's, and now I think is a good time to talk about movies that we probably didn't watch during the Valentine season, or maybe we watched too much of. I got my good friend Jesse Krempel of the Cult Cinema Circle here today. Welcome back.
Hi, Antonio. It's so nice to see you, and it's so nice to talk to you. It's always nice to see somebody. You've been on my show before, and I'm sure you'll be back. We just talked about Hedwig last year, actually, which was fun, and that was a great end of my year. But yeah, so actually, my end of the year was insane, actually. A close friend of mine at work actually passed away right before the end of the year. That was not on my bingo card by any stretch of the imagination, but
Right.
and then all this other stuff that's been happening in the world, like especially in this new year. But you know what? That's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about these romantic comedies. But yeah, it's so nice to see you again, and it's always nice to chat movies and all that good stuff.
I'm very cheerful seeing your big smiling face in my screen right now and hearing your voice. Yeah, I think everyone's kind of torn up their bingo cards for 25 and 26, right?
Jesus.
I've already torn mine up. Like, it's crazy. And that's why I'm glad that we can do this and talk about romantic comedies. So, like, I released my Valentine's Day episode a couple weeks ago. I had Jen Johans of Film Intuition and Watch with Jen on. Great guest, great poll. And we did like a programmer of like, if we were to program a triple feature for Valentine's Day, what would it be? You know?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I know her show, so I feel like I know her through her show, and I know me. If I'm going to program a triple feature for Valentine's Day, it's going to be very non-traditional, right? Like, you're not going to find any traditional romantic movies. I'm going to try and mix it up. I'll have like a dramatic one, and then a goofy comedy, and then maybe like an Asian film, Asian romance, because they're a little bit quirky over there. And I was expecting from her maybe like a lot of classic cinema, or 70s Hal Ashby, which we got one on my list today. She brought John Woo's The Killer to her triple feature, and she totally owned me with it. I was like, that should have been mine. I should have had that on my list. What a great Valentine's Day movie. It's got guns, blood, violence, kinetic camera work, but also there's a love story, you know? So I feel like that was a great Valentine's Day episode, but at the same time, I had to have you on because we talked about this for a while. We were talking about romantic comedies and manic pixie dream girls, which when we get to that, we'll definitely have you as a guest for that one. That's still on the list. But, you know, I think about what people generally watch during Valentine's Day, or at least that February in the mood for something kind of light and funny, blah, blah, blah. You know, let's say Nora Ephron movies, Rob Reiner movies,
R.I.P.
Meg Ryan movies, R.I.P. Right? R.I.P. Rob Reiner.
Oh yeah, Meg Ryan's not dead yet. I don't think so. Her husband's a different. Her ex-husband's a different story, but
yeah, that's a different story. But I feel like us cult cinema guys, we probably have a very non-conventional idea of what our romantic comedy should be. So we each brought a list of 5 of I'm not going to say our favorites. It might be your favorites. For me, I brought 5 that I really like to share with people. They might be a little unconventional. I like to expose them to something new, but that's what I did for my 5. What was your choice of how you approach this?
My choice was because, well, really, these are kind of my favorite romantic comedies. You know, as somebody who I'm not currently in a relationship or anything like that, and really, you know, I'm kind of just like out there, whatever, I don't know.
You're like,
but
I'm in love with me.
I'm in love with me, but also like, hey, I'm down with anybody who likes me too. And hey, this is cool. Let's chop it up. But and maybe do some other stuff. But anyway, in this situation though, I tend to, when I look at romantic comedies like this, because it is such an interesting subgenre really. And yeah, there's definitely ones that could be considered kind of like a little bit more off the beaten path, like cult type things,
Mhm.
of course, but also, I mean, I'm a sucker for a Julia Roberts movie, you know what I mean? Like, why
Yeah.
not? And so yeah, for me, like, you know, what I'm coming in with, I guess, is really more just like these generally are just my favorites. Like, they're just kind of fun.
They
And you
get
know,
you
I'm
in the
sure we'll
feels.
talk. What is it?
They get you in the feels.
Yeah, a little bit. None of these have made me cry or anything like that.
Right.
I will shout out Juno. I just did an episode on that one, and that one does
Mhm.
make me cry near the end because Elliot Page really did that. So I mean, hey, there you go. But like,
There you go.
but yeah, even that's is something where it's like that is kind of a wee bit of a romantic comedy. It's kind of just a comedy in general, I guess, but there is some sort of romance in the beginning or in the midst of it, because then by the end, you know, Juno and Bleak are together. So, you
Yeah.
know, it took a minute to get there, and also took Jason Bateman being a creep, you know.
Which he does it so well.
Yeah, I know he does. And Jen Garner, of course, amazing. But yeah, but I'm bringing just these ones that I really like, and I think that we'll have a fun time. I think I looked at the list on Letterbox, or not Letterbox. I looked at it on Wikipedia, and there's a whole list of like romantic comedy movies, all this. And I think out of the ones that I have seen, I think I saw, which is that list of like hundreds, I guess,
Right.
from like the 20s and 30s to like now. I think I've seen like almost 50 of the ones that were on there when I went through and did my list of like, oh, I've seen this and this and this. And so I had to kind of parse through that to be like, okay, here's what I'm going to bring in. And I have some fun ones. So, yeah.
As for my approach, you know, I think that romantic comedies sometimes are, let's say, the closeted heterosexual is afraid to talk about it. Like, it's a shame of like, I like romantic comedies, or I have a favorite, or there's one I want to watch, or maybe it's like the DVD or VHS they don't keep on the shelf. They maybe keep it in the drawer so people don't think that they're weak for liking romantic comedies. I think I am totally exposed in my love for some of these movies, and I have no shame of any of them. So I might have some left field ones, and I'm really excited. But you're my distinguished guest, so I want you to go first. You're number 5 on your list of romantic comedies.
My number 5 from my list, I believe this was in 1986, I believe, or 87. I don't remember which one. And this is actually a bit of a redo for this particular director. It is 87's Some Kind of Wonderful, with Leah Thompson and Eric Stoltz and Mary Stuart Masterson. This is my number 5 because even though I like Pretty in Pink, and I do like a John Hughes movie here and there, I actually own The Breakfast Club on the Criterion Collection and stuff of that nature. But like, I think for me, this one really kind of does something for me because I like that it is from a boy's point of view, you know, and I like that it's also something where now we don't love that baby Candace Cameron Bure's there playing his sister, which is kind of gross. But either way, in this situation though, I love that, like, you know, it's about that, like, it is that like the boy is doing this stuff. He's like a mechanic or works at a car shop or something. And like, then he's in love with this other girl, right? This Leah Thompson character. But then all this time, Mary Stuart Masterson, who looks gorgeous in this movie, by the way, she's got
The
this
platonic
tomboy
friend.
Oh my God. But she's got this like, definitely
Oh, yeah.
like, she's got this like butch cut going on, you know, she's very
I love it.
tomboy like,
Mhm.
but oh my God, she's so hot in this movie though. Jesus Christ. But it's like a whole thing of that. But I do like how they get together at the end. I love that Amanda, Leah Thompson, she chooses herself at the end, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's one of those things where with Pretty in Pink, I do like Pretty in Pink. Annie Potts is fantastic. Molly Ringwald is an icon. But I don't love John Cryer in that movie. I find him to be a little annoying, kind of, sort of. Plus, also the whole big thing, and this isn't a slight to the movie, but like the whole big thing is like, wait, wasn't Ducky supposed to be gay? Like, I mean, you almost get that vibe in a way. So you're like, oh, okay. But yeah, I just really like Some Kind of Wonderful personally. And plus also you have like random, like Elias Koteas is in this movie, like one of his first films ever. Like, as a skinhead, which it's not the same thing as a skinhead now. Okay, this was a different thing. It was kind of more of a punk thing before Nazism kind of came into it. So that's kind of an interesting thing to go down. But like, yeah, it's like that. One of the Molly Hagan, I think her name is. She also is in the movie playing one of the friends. Couple like random actor ladies who I just like are in this every so often. I think his dad's really cool, and also it's like, why the hell did you spend $10,000 or $5,000 or no, it was $3,000, I think it was. He spent this on these earrings for Amanda or whatever, and it's like, I want you to be better. I want you to be better. I want you to like not be me, son, you know? And I don't know. I just like it. And I think there's something to these movies. And I do think it was Howard Deutsch, who is Leah Thompson's husband, and Zoe Deutsch's father. But I do think like he did direct both of them. Right. And then John Hughes was involved with both of them in producing or whatever it was. But, I don't know. I just like this one. It's always a fun one. I think I have that, and my sister gave it to me. It's a double feature. It's either just the movie itself or it's like a double feature that I have with it. I don't remember what it is now, but I do own that movie on physical like DVD, so that's fun.
Yeah, so do I. You know, I've said many times that my favorite John Hughes movies are the ones that he didn't direct.
Yeah,
and Howard Deutsch's movies that he's done for John Hughes scripts are always my favorite. Oh my God. Okay, yeah, and there's the tropes in Some Kind of Wonderful, I think, are great. For one, Duncan is one of the best characters of all time. You know, is this a hen house? Because all that smell is chicken shit.
Yes,
fantastic moment. We've got essentially, instead of the Footloose punch dance scene, we have our Mary Stuart Masterson doing like an aggressive drum solo.
Oh, so good.
It's like the punch dance, but it's the drums.
Oh, hell yeah. And the scene where she teaches, I don't remember Eric Stoltz's name in that movie, but she teaches him how to like kiss. And it's just oh, this is great. Like that was just like, there's some kind of chemistry that I see here and I like it. So yeah.
Yeah, I love the platonic female friend romantic comedies of the 80s. I also dig Secret Admirer with C. Thomas Howell and Lori Loughlin, where she's like the platonic friend. It's like, who the hell is platonic friends with Lori Loughlin circa 1986?
I know.
No, like, yeah, gay is what I always thought. But no,
probably. Probably. I was going to say, like.
Good choice, Ann. I like this one. All right. Okay, so my number 5, and this might come out as a shock to you. My number 5 is a kind of retro throwback movie from the early mid-2000s that really did a great job of capturing the energy of a genre from the 60s that I'm actually kind of a fan of, and that was the Doris Day Rock Hudson films. I'm bringing Down with Love.
Okay.
With Ewan McGregor and Renee Zellweger. Maybe the only movie I actually like Renee Zellweger in, but also the supporting cast, you know, because you've got Niles from Frasier, you've got Sarah Paulson, and then you've got Tony Randall in there, which is so funny to me because it's like looking at a kaleidoscope of this characterization where you've got Niles from Frasier playing the Tony Randall part, yet Tony Randall's actually in the movie. And I always thought that was pretty fun. I love the kitsch to it. I love the fact that they can take the Rock Hudson Doris Day aesthetic and bring 2000s modern kinkiness to it, the sexuality, the innuendo. And I'm not a huge Ewan McGregor and comedy fans. I really like him in Trainspotting.
Velvet Goldmine or something.
This one, he actually is kind of like the perfect guy to bring this kind of, I don't know, Cary Grant-ish, Rock Hudson-ish kind of faux masculine. He's a men's magazine writer who's just a total pimp. Almost like Archer from the cartoon Archer in a way too. You know, he's got stewardesses in and out. I just really loved this movie back then. I did it on the podcast a few years ago, and I think that it really holds up. And I feel like every generation or so, they'll go back and they'll watch this movie, and then it's a great introduction to the Rock Hudson, Doris Day movies of the 60s, like Pillow Talk and Please Don't Eat the Daisies. But yeah, I think Down with Love is an underrated comedy masterpiece.
Yeah, I've heard of it, and I have kind of wanted to watch it. It was on Criterion not too long ago, and I wanted to watch it on the channel if I could. But yeah, if you have a glowing recommendation of it, I'm down with that too. There you go. See what I did there?
Oh god, I'm down with that. I feel that you would definitely love this one, especially because it does have some of that kind of musical. It's not a musical,
It's not right.
but it has a lot of musical prompts that would make it feel like a musical. And then they do have, of course, Ewan McGregor and Renee Zellweger sing a song over the closing credits, which actually isn't bad. I think it's better than anything that was in Moulin Rouge. I'm kind of a Moulin Rouge hater. That's
Right,
me.
right.
I'm that guy. But yeah, I'd say Down with Love. It's probably in my top 5 of all-time favorite underrated comedies.
I also love that it's done by the same guy who did Bring It On, so I'm already here for it. Like,
And the
this is great.
Ant-Man, right?
And
yeah.
Ant-Man, yep, Peyton Reed.
Yeah.
Yep, so.
I feel like this is a great way of like cutting his teeth to find that nice kind of kitsch and comedy, but also it's a big budget. There's a lot of flair there. There's sets, there's costumes, knowing how to operate that. But yeah.
And it is cool. It is cool. It is cool, like you said, with the no sex kind of comedies of that time of the 60s, you know, very much like it's not Bye Bye Birdie, but like very much that kind of thing too. So,
it's in the same vein.
Yeah, for sure. I love that.
All right. All right, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is also from the 80s and may or may not have gotten a remake in the 2020s. I believe a musical remake, I believe. This movie is one where I have watched it in the recent years, and I may or may not be covering it next month. I totally am. I think this is coming out in February, right before March. So in honor of Women's History Month, I'm covering it. So that's a little, I think, maybe exclusive that you guys might get. I don't know, for anybody who watches your show. But I am doing 1980. I think it's either 2 or 3. I think it's 83. The one and only Nicolas Cage's hottest, Valley Girl. I mean, how could I not? Like, great. Directed by a woman. It's pretty much Romeo and Juliet in San Fernando Valley of the 80s. The cast is great. Again, really hot Nicolas Cage. Great, fantastic. But also I love Deborah Foreman in that movie. You know, E.G. Daly plays, you know, her friend, and she's really good in it. Like Colleen Camp, who's like just a little older by a little bit of what's her name? Deborah Foreman. And we're just supposed to believe that that's her stepmom, I guess. Like, okay, cool. Right. Oh my god, just everything.
Frederick Forrest as her health food store running dad.
Oh my god, like everything where it's like, or just like some of the kind of, I guess you could call them preps or whatever, of like, you know, the Valley or whatever. Very much, I don't remember his name. He's an actor, dude. He's like that guy, dude. You know what I mean? Who plays like,
are you talking about Michael Bowen as the one that assaults E.G. Daly? The guy he's a dick in every movie. I mean, he picked a lane and he stuck with it, and he's good at it.
He is.
I have a hard time recalling any time I've seen Michael Bowen in a movie where he's not a fucking dick.
Oh, right.
He's Uncle Jack in Breaking Bad. Right?
Oh, yeah. So he's made a career of himself. But yeah, I love Valley Girl. I just think like that is such, and what's cool is that it is one of these movies that's kind of based off a song, because it's a Frank Zappa song with his daughter on it, which I love that song. But it's like that, and it's just like, so I don't know what it is. Like, it's just it is this time before teen movies really got like, you know, John Hughesified, really, you know, and so because none of these people are actual teenagers. But the thing is like, I really do think like this has it is such a time in history. Not that I'm from LA or anything like that, or live there, but like I am just like, this is a Los Angeles that does not exist any longer. Okay.
Right.
It just doesn't. And it's such an interesting time capsule. It's like this and Angel from the 80s, like where two different things, obviously, but very much like it's a certain time and place.
Hollywood Boulevard aesthetic of Los Angeles.
Fantastic in this too.
I would say the same thing as the Times Square films before Giuliani turned it into
like Times Square
Disneyland, right?
Like,
before it became family friendly, you know, back in the 70s, like the Taxi Driver at Times Square.
What is it? Oh, Jesus Christ! Like Maniac or like any of those ones. Yeah. Miss 45, I would put there. Yeah, gritty New York cinema is what we're talking about. Absolutely, this
Abel Ferrara, New York City.
Abel Ferrara, like New York City, but also like this movie in particular, along with Angel's more like gritty Hollywood Boulevard, but like, you know, this movie is very much like it's the San Fernando Valley, it's Hollywood, when it was still kind of a little bit gross, and it still is gross, kind of like the Hollywood Boulevard of it all. But the thing is like it works though. I just love that he's from Hollywood, she's from the Valley, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? And plus also the thing is that like the thing about Romeo and Juliet is these are both wealthy people, right?
Yeah.
Like they're both wealthy families and these are star-crossed lovers, right? Whereas this movie, she is supposedly well off, I guess, because she lives in the Valley. Although really, is she? Like, I mean, her parents own this health food store or whatever. So how rich are they? But like, what's his name?
Well, they're not clueless. They're not clueless rich.
They're not clueless
like,
rich, but they're like
right.
Valley enough rich, I guess. But then Randy, like, you know, he's like some guy from the Valley. He's some guy from Hollywood. So like, we never see his family. We don't see any of this stuff. So like, it is really interesting to kind of look at that. And
I've always gathered from Randy that he is kind of like SLC Punk, where he does come from, let's say, a well-to-do family, but he's rebellious against it. You know, because God, he seems to be able to get everywhere he wants to be.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I also love the Josie Cotton of it all at the end with Johnny Are You Queer. Fantastic.
Love
that movie is so good. I want to own it on physical, and I know that they did it on somebody released it. I think it was Shout.
Oh yeah, it's a Shout Select. It is. It's a Shout Select one.
It has a really
which
cool,
I don't have that one. I just have it on regular DVD. But yeah, that's definitely on.
I need to like buy it and just be like, oh my God. And everyone, go watch it. I don't know. I'm gonna watch the musical version of the 2020s. Just because I want to compare it a little bit, but Valley Girl from the 80s fucking rocks. It's a great movie. So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite romantic comedies for sure.
Yeah, Martha Coolidge is a great director too, because she followed this up with Real Genius, another classic.
Oh, so. Absolutely, love it.
All right, cool. All right, so my number 4. This is kind of obscure, but it has 2 of the biggest stars today in it before they were anybody. My next pick is Overnight Delivery, starring Paul Rudd and Reese Witherspoon. Have you seen this one?
I have not seen it. I think I've heard of it before, but I have no idea what it even is about.
It kind of fell off the face of the earth. It generally is known as like the movie that Paul Rudd was supposed to be like exploding into a leading man from, because he had Clueless and he had the Halloween movie, Romeo and Juliet's Paris, I think. Small part. This was supposed to be his main one, but the movie got buried for lots of different reasons. Studio didn't know what to do with it. They fumbled it. They put it straight to video. It was originally supposed to be a Kevin Smith project with Joey Lauren Adams. That fell apart. So it did kind of miss the opportunity to be something bigger. But it's hilarious and it's darling. It essentially is the film Road Trip before Road Trip. So Paul Rudd and his girlfriend have had like this decades-long like childhood relationship that's grown into something else, and they end up going to different colleges. His girlfriend, one of your favorites, Christine Taylor.
Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. I gotta watch this now. I love Christine Taylor.
So she's at her sorority at her new college, and he is convinced that she is cheating on him. So he sends her a FedEx letter of essentially breaking up.
Okay, wait a minute. I know you already said it, but I need to get that guy on the phone, Todd Phillips. Did you really just watch Overnight Delivery and make a raunchy comedy of it?
He did. The only difference
what are we doing?
Like, he's trying to beat the letter. He's trying to get across the country to beat the letter, road trip style. But instead of doing it with his male buddies, he does it with a stripper played by Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, of course.
So she offers to drive him in her shitty little car because they have some kind of a deal where he owes her money. So they're going to have like this thing where, okay, we get across the country, we get this, she's going to help him out. But of course, feelings start to emerge between the two of them as they are driving cross country. It's almost like a planes, trains, and automobile situation between the two of them. Like bad things happen, but as bad things happen, they kind of get closer together to the point where it's like, the decision he has to make when he actually gets to his girlfriend. Do I want you, or do I want to move on? Or have you moved on? The chemistry between Rudd and Witherspoon is so good, it blows my mind that this movie fell off the radar. Like, they should have been the Hanks and Meg Ryan of their generation, but nothing happened with this movie.
What year was it?
They are so good. 95.
Oh, okay. So this is right before Freeway, I guess, right?
Right in the middle of that. Like, they probably produced in the same year. So not a lot of people have seen it, but if you haven't, I found it on YouTube like a decade ago, right?
Nice.
Go and watch it. Overnight Delivery is the shit. it's not as cringy and male comedy humor and gross out
Right.
humor as Road Trip is, but it definitely has a lot of kind of like throwback to classic comedy. It's got a lot of It Happened One Night in there too.
Yeah, I
Like
would think so, yeah.
it's pretty damn funny. I love this movie. So maybe it's not in my top 5 of all time, but I always try and share this movie with people who are asking me for a romantic comedy recommendation.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, no, that sounds great. And then also, what's so funny about that too, with the raunchy comedy of it all, like, it's so funny when you think of Road Trip. Like, yeah, it has a little bit of that, but when you look, like, it's actually not even that raunchy of a movie. Like, actually, when you really watch it, like, I don't know. I would argue that even some of the American Pies, because I've seen probably all of them, but like some of those ones even go a little further, which is funny than Road Trip. And but yeah, doesn't mean I love that film necessarily, but I actually didn't completely hate it. But
there's a warm place in my heart from the 20-year-old me that saw it in the theater,
And plus also any Rachel Blanchard cinema, I'm always going to be down for. You already know.
We've talked about this.
yes. You already know. Anyway, I guess my number 3.
Yes, on number 3.
All right. So my number 3, we've talked about her a little bit already, kind of sort of with a previous movie I talked about, not one of my choices. But this is of a young lady in the 2000s. Okay. She may or may not have had her own television show where she was like a spy. And they decided to put her in a movie. And this little film is one where it's kind of a weird time travel movie in a way, but like, it's super fun, and I love it, and so does Ariana Grande. That's right, I'm bringing to you 2004's 13 Going on 30. Okay, I'm bringing it to you because, listen, I looked at Antonio's letterbox, and I know that maybe he doesn't love this film necessarily, which is fine. But you know what? I like it, damn it. This is actually a more recent watch for me. I didn't grow up watching it, but I watched it with my sister randomly one time. I think she was over because our mother was having like surgery or something. So like we got together and we were like, oh, okay, let's make sure she's all right or whatever. And we just like decided to like, oh, let's watch it. We would used to watch movies together sometimes randomly. Like I'd go to her house and like, we would like watch movies sometimes. I'd be like, I gotta show you this shit. So like I showed her Muriel's Wedding and I showed her like another one of my choices actually. But I showed her these different movies, but she was like, oh yeah, you should watch 13 Going on 30. And I was like, okay, like, is it a sad movie? Because I don't want to be depressed. And she was like, no, it's not. You're fine. Because I was like, okay, that's cool, whatever. And I don't know what it is. Like, I think for me, like I said, Jen Garner can kind of do no wrong to me. Like I like almost anything she's kind of in, really. Yeah. So this movie was kind of up my alley for that. I also think like everyone in it is pretty cool. Like I like Mark Ruffalo could be a little better in the film. However, I don't mind him as the from childhood love interest that they end up marrying at the end, I guess. I love Judy Greer in the movie because I think she plays kind of a little against her type, which is cool.
Judy Greer can make any movie with her.
She really can. I mean,
really
she could do anything really well. So I love her. And yeah, just some of the different people who are in it. I mean, we have a pre-fame Brie Larson as one of the 6 chicks. Mm-hmm. We have this, like, we have her. We have, who are some other people? Like, yeah, like, fucking that one guy who is Gollum from the Lord of the Rings, Andy Serkis. He plays her boss, like at the magazine. So I mean, you have some random things, and then plus also I do like the little 80s soundtrack they got going on because Jennifer Garner, she's from the 80s. That's when she was 13. And she's plopped into 2004, and you have these little songs throughout, which is fun. And I don't know, I just think it's a fun little movie, and it's kind of one of those silly, dumb 2000s romantic comedies using people like Jennifer Garner, who was on Alias, and other people like that to make these sorts of movies. So I don't know, I enjoyed it. It's like, I mean, of course people are always going to compare stuff to male-led projects, I guess, but people always called this like the 13 Going on 30 is like the Big of its day, which I have not seen Big, so I don't really know, but like I get it. And I'm also just like, no, but this is definitely for those who maybe like Jennifer Garner or like this sort of thing, and like that's one for me. But yeah, I like 13 Going on 30. It's a cute little movie.
It's fun. I mean, it's not my particular cup of tea, but I don't hate it. This is probably me just being like pretentious about it. Like I have okay, so everyone kind of lost their mind about Tarantino going off on Paul Dano a couple months ago.
Yeah.
If I had a platform, I'd probably be doing the same thing with Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo is just not my guy. He's just
Yeah.
not my guy. I don't hate him. He's just not my guy. So when you said earlier, like Mark Ruffalo could be a little bit better, that's kind of like my opinion of every Mark Ruffalo role. But he works here with her because he kind of has to be like Melba Toast, right?
Yeah,
to
he
make
has
her
to be that
character
kind of-
bigger.
Yeah, I
right?
agree. Yeah, there has to be somebody. They can't be super. That would be the thing, is that I wouldn't believe it as like Matt is going to be like this super hot guy now. You know,
It's
what I
not
mean?
going to be McConaughey, right?
No, you can't have someone like that. Even like Ewan McGregor, like you said with Down with Love, like it can't be like that. He has to be somebody who, again, I think Mark Ruffalo or somebody in that ilk who, he can grow up to be, perfectly average and like whatever. But yeah, because you do have Jenna there, you have Jennifer Garner there, so it's there.
Right.
And then plus also her and her the person who plays her younger, they really did look very similar alike. I mean,
Yeah.
whoever cast that was kind of crazy, was, really spot on. It was that, and then also whoever did the Judy Greer one, because they very much look alike. So that was kind of fun.
I feel very similar about Jennifer Garner as I do with Rachel McAdams now. It's like, I feel like they just can't do any wrong. Even if the project's not great, they can't do wrong.
Oh,
And that's how
100%. I am also a Rachel McAdams stan as well. And so I'm always a fan. Like, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to see it in theaters, but like Send Help seems right up my alley.
Oh, dude, it was so good. It was so good.
I make a point that like, I mean, I love that Rachel has a Academy Award nomination for, Spotlight. But even like in the movie she did, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Like I watched that movie. That's a fun little movie, by the way. But like she's great in it. She's so fantastic as the mom in it. So, I love a Rachel McAdams, and very much like you're trying to make these people happen in a way, right? Like it's Jennifer Garner, it's Rachel McAdams, it's these different people who, and this is the same year as Mean Girls too. So it's like, again, you're trying to use these people in some way, shape, or form to make them kind of hit. And this was that for Jen Garner, I think. Too.
It was 100%.
Definitely.
Cool. Yeah, I'm happy it's on your list. Wouldn't be on mine.
I understand.
Okay, so my number 3, I'm going back, because I like to go back in the Wayback Machine. I was surprised you had so many 80s, and I brought you 2 90s, or a 90s and a 2000. I'm going to go back to the 60s here. So I love this movie, and it's been covered on my show several times, and I talk about it all the time. I'm a huge fan of the writer-director Elaine May, who used to pair with Mike Nichols, and she did a movie back in the 60s called A New Leaf, with her and Walter Matthau. Have you seen this one? Get it on your list. I feel like this is a movie that's kind of begging for a remake, and I'm glad they haven't done it yet because the original is just so good. Elaine May also did the original Heartbreak Kid, which is one of my favorite movies, and then they had to remake that one.
And also, Mike Nichols directed The Birdcage, but I'm pretty sure that she was also a part of writing that, I believe, as well. Wasn't she a part
Elaine
of
May
that?
was one of the writers, yeah, and she was a script doctor for years on lots of movies, but she was a great writer director. So A New Leaf, Walter Matthau plays like this spoiled kind of man-child who's inherited all this money. He's a playboy. He buys planes and boats, Ferraris, right? And one day his accountant tells him, listen, you've spent all your money and you haven't even realized it yet. So you're going to have to give all your shit back. You're going to have to give back your mansion, your townhouse, all that stuff like that. And the only thing that he can think of to get any money is by borrowing money from his rich uncle, played by James Coco, who's hilarious. And the whole idea of it is like, okay, listen, this is how much money I'm lending you. If you can pay me back by this amount of time, forget about the loan, like you're covered. If not, I get all of your estate and you have nothing to claim. So Matthau figures the only way that he can get that kind of money is if he marries an heiress or a woman with money. Elaine May is that person in this movie, and she is a nightmare. She's neurotic, she's clumsy, she breaks things, she's super annoying. She has just the worst tendencies, no social structure whatsoever, And he's like this prim and proper playboy. So the whole idea of the movie is that he has convinced her to marry him. Meanwhile, her attorney sees what's going on, and he's trying to like prevent it from happening. But Mathau's plan is not only to marry her, but also find a way where she can die in an accident so he can get the money and get all of his estate back from his uncle. But as these things happen, they kind of grow on one another. And what will happen in the end? Talk about chemistry between these two people. Because here's the thing, it's also kind of like a Lonely Hearts, but also kind of Shaggy Dog movie where they're not attractive people, right? The only reason why anyone would love them is their money and the fact that like everyone in her circle knows what this dude's up to. He fires all of her house people, her gardeners, her cooks, because they all see what he's up to. So he fires them all and tries to like do all the accounting himself. It's a lot of dialogue and it's a lot of situational comedy that happens, but there's like a lot of dark humor, but also heart in it. And I think it's just such an undervalued and underappreciated romantic comedy gem of the 60s. And why do I like it? Because it's dark.
Yeah, totally. I feel like when you were explaining Elaine May, I feel like another person of that ilk, going back to Christine Taylor, would have also been Anne Mira. Like, I think that would have been a fun one because she's Jerry Stiller's like wife, like, and was her wife. But I also think like same sort of thing. Like she could have also played that. I recently watched The Day Trippers, which she's in with like Parker Posey and all them. And I was just like, oh, she's fantastic. I loved her.
Yeah.
So yeah, she sounds a little bit like that too, where I'm like, oh yeah, she would have been great too. So I'll have to put it on the list.
It's a great one. Again, it's on YouTube. I'm sure you can find it on one of the main streaming sites too. And then I believe that Vinegar Syndrome, through one of their sub labels, just put out a brand new, beautiful Blu-ray of it. So if you're a fan of it, something cool to invest in. But yeah, and it's a Mathau at his best. It's before the curmudgeon-y Mathau, where it's not the Mr. Wilson, grumpy old men Mathau. It's a crueler yet gentler version of him, and that's why I like it. And like with that face, no one's gonna fall in love with this guy, but the fact that she does is like, okay, well.
We do love seeing like the random old men. Like I was watching for New Year's Eve. I know you probably like some of these ones, but I watched The Apartment, which is another kind of fun romantic comedy. And it is really interesting to watch that movie and to see Ray Walston in it and be like, that is Mr. Hand. Like, what are we doing? Like, but he's playing this guy who's like cheating on his wife pretty much and using this apartment and everything. So it's really funny when you can, but yeah, Walter Matthau, like when there was a time where like he wasn't too bad to look at. I wouldn't say he was handsome maybe, but he definitely wasn't bad to look at. And he obviously had enough to have a career in Hollywood as this kind of character actor dude. So I think that's kind of interesting too.
An early role of his, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but the Elvis Presley movie King Creole.
Oh, no, I haven't. No.
He essentially plays kind of like a New Orleans mob boss.
Oh, that's fun.
And he pulls it off really well. Super young. It's like one of his first like actual starring roles. And very convincing. Like, I feel once he got comfortable playing the curmudgeon, that's just all they ever put him in. But before those days, he was actually a very versatile actor. And New Leaf really kind of shows it. So, yeah.
Yeah, like Robert Stack wasn't always Unsolved Mysteries. He was in stuff before. And he was actually considered kind of handsome. Like, you know, yeah, totally.
There you go. All right, on to number two.
Number two for me. I love this little movie. I don't know if I own it yet or not, but I really should. And it's a bit of a twist, if you will, because it is a movie that is in the LGBT theme, which is lovely. I really loved this movie when I found it, and I think it's so fun. It has an Oscar nominee in it, which is really good too. And she got nominated for this. I just remember I even watched this movie when not to bring the room down, but like when Roe v. Wade got overturned, like I was like, I need to feel comfortable. I need to like do something. And I put this movie on just because why not? I'm talking about 1997's In and Out from Frank Oz himself. I love this little movie. I think it is it's Kevin Kline, Oscar winner. Joan Cusack at her best. So fantastic. She got nominated for an Oscar for this movie for Best Supporting Actress. I guess the baseline is that it's about this gentleman in Indiana who's a kind of drama English teacher. He's also like the soccer coach or something like that for the team. Like there's,
I think it's basketball.
I think it was basketball. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But anyway, this guy, he is dating this woman, Joan Cusack, who lost all this weight, used to do Richard Simmons workouts. But they're about to get married, and one of their former students, this guy by the name of Cameron Drake, played by Matt Dillon, he goes to the Oscars, and he's nominated for an Oscar, and he gets the Oscar, and he goes up on stage, and the town is all abuzz that he comes from, because they're like, oh my god, I can't believe he won, whatever. And then he goes up on stage, he thanks people, and one of the people he thanks is Kevin Kline's character, and then he ends up saying that because he played a gay soldier or whatever in his movie he won for. But like he says, this goes out to Howard Brackett from, where Indiana. And he also says he's gay. And like people are like, what are they talking about, Howard? Like on live TV at the Oscars. And then people are then there's like this whole like media frenzy about it, that, this is kind of taking place in this Indiana small town. God, it's just so fun. Like, and also like there's a point where like maybe he may or may not be fired from his job. There's the whole Spartacus kind of ending to it, where all the people at the little graduation they're having like stand up and they say, I'm gay. Well, I guess I'm gay too. Like all these things. It's really cute. And the cast is so fucking good. Like Kevin Kline, obviously fantastic. Joan Cusack, obviously fantastic. But I mean, they have like Wilford Brimley, Debbie Reynolds as his parents, right? Like some early people. They have Sean Hattasey, Lauren Ambrose in one of her first roles. This is pre Can't Hardly Wait. Alexander Holden, who I love, and like Drop Dead Gorgeous and all the things she's been in.
Ross's underage girlfriend or something. Oh, Friends. In that one season stretch.
Her fantastic. Jesus, like so many different people who are just really good.
You left out the daddy. You left out Tom Selleck sans mustache.
Oh yes, Tom Selleck, who plays a gay guy in this. He's a gay reporter.
How do they not let him keep the mustache if he's playing a gay man? Like, I don't understand that. They should have made the mustache bigger.
It's so funny. Like, it was so good, and this just gives me like, I don't know what it is. It just makes me feel good. It makes me feel comforted. It's a nice little movie. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just something, and it is very much like, it's a bit dated, I guess.
It's dated for sure.
Care, because that's fine. No, like, I don't mind. It's just something where, and plus also like if you're a fan of the Oscars, that I mean, I know a thing or two about the Oscars, but I'm not like the obsessive or whatever. But it does poke fun at the Oscars, which is really fun too. It's just such a good little movie, and I think it's also ironic that like Joan Cusack got nominated for an Oscar of it, and it's also making fun of the Oscars a little bit. And again, Frank Oz, apparently not the best director to work with sometimes, from what people have said on the past. However, I thought he did a pretty good job with this, and I think the actors really give it as well in this film. And yeah, this is definitely one, and especially if you want one with a twist, it's a gay twist kind of, which is fun, because the thing is that he really is gay. And he does leave at the altar, and then Joan Cusack is just like having to be like, I need a heterosexual stat, like what's happening. It's just so fun.
Her breakdown is the best. Like there's definitely dated. Bob Newhart is kind of like the bigoted but gently bigoted like idiot archetype. Yeah, definitely. I love this movie. I love Joan Cusack so much in it. And like my favorite is when she's at the bar eating peanuts. and Tom looks us down. She's like, "You're that guy from TV."
Exactly.
Like, just so Midwestern.
She's just like, "You want to sleep with me?" And then he's like, "Sorry, I'm gay." And then she's just like, "Is everybody gay?" Like, it's so funny. God, she's so good in like everything she's in. But like seriously, like it's just so fun and just like yeah. Oh my God, it's just so good. Everyone needs to watch it. Please go out there and watch it, everybody. It's really good and I enjoy it.
No, for sure. We went through like a little Kevin Kline marathon in January.
As you should.
Because I exposed my partner to Dave. She'd never seen Dave, and she thought it was really sweet, but she wanted something funnier. So we watched In and Out, and then we watched Fish Called Wanda.
Where
she just really loves Kevin Kevin Kline movies, and there's some that she hadn't seen. So, yeah, but In and Out, and like as dated as it is, I think it's just a gentle movie, right? It's just fun.
It's not dated in a bad way. Like it didn't like age horribly necessarily. Again, it's dated in a way, but it's dated in the same way that something like Spice World's dated. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's something where I'm like, yeah, I can tell this is in the 90s, but I also don't care because these characters just bring it for me, and they're just like really fun. And it's fun to see people before. Again, like some of his students who would then go on to have like really cool careers. Like who was it? She's in the cast somewhere, but I don't remember her name from I didn't watch Buffy like that, but Claire Kramer is also there. She plays one of the students, just random, probably in the background. And then a couple years later, she's on Buffy and then Bring It On and all this stuff.
Dude,
so it's like, what?
Selma Blair is in it. She is a cousin. She has no lines. You just see her watching TV for like 5 seconds.
In the background. And you're just like, hello, Selma Blair. Also side-eyeing her a little bit too, but also it's really funny when you can see people like that. And also like, even said Jude Squibb's there. Like, again, she's kind of that person who just shows up in things, which is always fun. But yeah, it's a fun little time. And again, I think and I don't love the use of the Macho Man stuff just because of the Village People now, I guess, because but at this time though, it worked. It makes so much sense. It's so funny. It's still funny.
Agreed. All right, so for my number 2, I'm actually bringing something a lot more contemporary, which is odd for me because we don't praise the more contemporary films that much on this show, but I think this one is an exception. Going back to like 2021, like COVID, lockdown, all of that nonsense. A movie came out that just won my heart, won my soul, and I watch it at least 2 or 3 times a year. Palm Springs, dude, with Kristen Milioti and Andy Samberg. It's a time loop movie, and I think it is probably one of the best romantic will they or won't they comedies of this century. It is so good, and the fact that it didn't get a theatrical release because of everything, COVID, Sundance, like so many things were happening for this movie, but it became a huge streaming giant. And it is one of the movies that has come out in the last 5 years that I just can't get enough of this movie. I think it's a modern day classic. And for those who haven't seen it, for those who haven't seen it, the gist of it is Kristen Milioti, who's now, so big because of the Penguin. She's at her sister's wedding in Palm Springs at this little kind of resort ranch. And while she is supposed to be delivering the maid of honor speech after the wedding, she kind of stumbles because she's got some emotional turmoil going on. And out of nowhere, Andy Samberg shows up and kind of saves the day, gives a big speech, but he kind of has like this vibe that he knows everything already. She goes off with him and they start making out on side of the beach, and he's attacked by an unknown figure and runs away. And she follows him. And while she's following him, she finds this cave that he stumbled into, not knowing that this cave is like an interdimensional vortex that puts her in a time loop. So now she is stuck in a time loop with Andy Samberg, and she realizes that the reason why he knows everything is because he spent like 10,000 years on this same day going to this wedding. He's slept with everybody. He knows everyone's name, all their histories. He's done everything he can. He's killed himself 1,000,000 times, right? So she and him kind of develop this bond together, but her purpose is to get out, and he is more of the nihilistic state of like, why have hope? This is our reality. Just live with it. A lot of intertwining twists and turns, but it's a very clever script. And I feel that these days, a clever script with a lot of plot is not what people want in streaming. Everyone's been talking about lately, with Matt Damon saying on one of the podcasts he was on, that Netflix now has what they call second screen addendums to screenwriting, where you have to kind of explain the plot several times throughout the movie and simplify it because people are on their phones while they're watching it. This movie doesn't care about that. Should be outlawed. This movie is literally like, pay attention or you're going to miss very important stuff. And that's part of the fun, because you can go back and rewatch and find things every single time. So the replay value of this movie is really, really great. And the chemistry between those two, they're just so good. They're so fun, but they are also heartbreaking at the same time, because it's like one guy that's given up on life and then one person that just will not give up on getting out of this time loop.
I had no idea that, and also, if I'm not mistaken, one of the choreographers in that movie, one of the people who choreographed, like, isn't there a dance scene in that movie that they do or something in
They
a
do,
bar?
yeah.
Um,
They
I heard about that one, and I think that person who like choreographed it or whatever, she's choreographed other cool things, which is kind of interesting. I don't remember her name, but I just thought it off the top of my head, where I was like, oh yeah, I think I've heard about that. But I did not know that Palm Springs is kind of like a sci-fi movie a little bit. It's like a
it's
sci-fi
totally
comedy.
it's Groundhog Day with a lot more science and a lot more drama, and it's heavy R-rated. Like, it's very vulgar and violent, which I think adds to its charm because it adds some stakes to the time loop scenario.
Yeah, kind of like how speaking of, we talked about Hedwig, and I was on another podcast, they told me like I was talking about like John Cameron Mitchell or whatever, and they were like, well, you should check out How to Talk to Girls at Parties.
Mhm.
And I've recently started watching it on like Hoopla or something, and I was like, wait, it's a science fiction movie, and it is like, it's a period piece. It has Elle Fanning in it and the guy from that Broadway show, Alex Sharp. And I was like, wait a minute, she plays, I mean, spoiler alert, she's an alien. So, but like, you know, I just didn't expect all of that. And I was just like, wait, I didn't know what to think. But like, now I know. And I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, this is interesting. But I would have never expected that would have been like a sci-fi movie. I was just kind of like, what the hell kind of movie is this? It's called Palm Springs. I
Yeah.
would think it's about gays in Palm Springs or something like that.
Are there gays in Palm Springs? I mean, there's gays everywhere, but
Very much so, yes. Not that I've been there or lived there, but yeah, Palm Springs is kind of a mecca for gay folks, especially.
I know it's got a swinger community, but I guess that just gathers everybody.
But there's a lot of gay. There are some gay folks out there, very much so. I'm pretty sure Trixie Mattel, Drag Race person.
Right.
I think her motel, and there's a whole like reality show about her opening this motel and stuff. I believe that's in Palm Springs. So, you know, there is definitely the gay faction there, which to me, I was like, oh, well, maybe it has some of that in there or like whatever. But knowing that it's like a little romantic comedy, I'm more apt to pull up on it now, where I'm kind of like, oh, like, yeah, hell yeah, why not? Same guy who wrote that, actually, I just looked it up. He doesn't have a ton to his name, but he also did, I don't know if it's any good, he did the Peacock series for Angeline with Emmy Rossum, or Emmy.
I haven't watched that yet.
Something or whatever. Oh, the girl from Shameless, I think that's who it is.
Emmy Rossum.
I think that's who it is. Emmy Rossum. Yeah, and the Phantom of the Opera from like the 2000s. So yeah, but she plays Angeline, which yeah, same guy. But I'll check it out.
Definitely check it out. I feel like it would be the closest contemporary film that people could maybe compare it to would be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Like there's a lot of that kind of vibe to it. Maybe less soul crushing, but definitely around the same wavelength. So, yeah, definitely check it out. All right, man, we're to our number ones now.
Yes, so I had to go through plenty of these, and there's a lot that I could have chosen, you know, and I think this makes, you know, there's a lot that I could have chose, but for me, I think I had to come back to kind of a one that I actually just watched recently again, and I've watched it a couple of times. And as I stated before, I'm a sucker for a Julia Roberts movie. Okay,
yeah.
And for me, I have to say, this film is one for me where it's kind of my number one, and I just like it. It is My Best Friend's Wedding from 1997. This film to me, so one of the reasons I think I like it is because it's kind of this anti-rom-com, but still being a rom-com in a way, which is interesting. It's deconstructing the genre of it a little bit. But what I love about it too is it was also written, or it was directed by PJ Hogan. It was written by Ronald Bass, I believe. But PJ Hogan's from Muriel's Wedding, so you know he's bringing this sort of sensibility of this kind of Australian comedy coming into it. We got Rachel Griffiths here, which is fun, playing one of the vengeful sluts that comes in for the for Kimmy's wedding. But I don't know, like, it's just such a fun little movie, and I don't know what it is about it, but it's just something where I just like the vibe of it. I like that it's kind of biting at the same time. I like that, you know, again, it's working within the rom-com field, and also having someone like Julia Roberts, who at that time is like the queen of rom-coms, and for her to be able to do this was just like really cool in my opinion.
To play an
Plus
asshole.
It also, play an asshole.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And also, this would be like, this is the worst thing ever. Like, she just, for those who may not know, this movie is about Julianne, played by Julia Roberts. She is a food critic. She's like 28 or 29. I think she's 28.
Mhm.
And she gets a call from her best friend, Dermot Mulroney. Okay. And they were friends in college, and they even like, I don't think they ever like long-term dated, but they probably like hooked up a few times and things like that. And he's getting married to a 20-year-old Cameron Diaz. He's not actually 20 in the movie, but that's what she's supposed to be. And pretty much now Julianne's like, I have to break this wedding up because I want him to marry me. And like, I've never professed my love to him. We also have, not Guy Pearce, I was about to say. It's Rupert Everett. he plays the gay guy in here who's one of her, it's her editor, but it's like one of her best friends, I guess, all that kind of stuff. And then just some like fun people in here, like I said, God, Rachel Griffiths and Carrie Preston. You have, I don't remember his name, but he's the same guy who played the butler in It Takes Two with the Olsen twins.
Oh, wow,
that guy who plays like the, it's that guy who plays like her dad or something, Cameron Diaz's dad or something. It's like so fun. It's such a fun little movie. It's gratuitous Chicago cinema because it was shot there.
Right.
So that's always fun to see too. And I don't know what it is. It's just something where I just like it. I also think like, it's really cool to see Julia Roberts playing against type, and I'm always down for that. I also think, she ended up earning an Oscar for kind of playing against type in Aaron Brockovich in a little bit. I think that's really cool too. But like, I just think like this works for me because it is the anti-rom-com. But it still is a rom-com. I would very much say so. It is.
Oh yeah.
But
it doesn't
I
have
like
to
that it's
have
deconstructing it.
It doesn't have to have a happy ending or everyone gets what they want to be considered a romantic comedy, right? Like the one I bring as my number one is a romantic comedy, but it is not, and it's very atypical. The amount of cigarettes that she smokes in this movie is always mind-boggling to me.
I'm just like, goddamn girl, like, and you still are sounding like that, and looking
you're a
like
food
that.
critic. How are you a food critic when you're constantly smoking?
I'm just like, what is this? Very much like, and if you notice in Muriel's Wedding, it's not as much of this, but like definitely sometimes, like especially Joni is just like kind of just smoking randomly in the house. So I'm just like, what is going on here? But anyway, 1997, man, was a different time, I guess.
The quintessential sing along of the 90s, of course.
Oh yeah.
You got the Dionne Warwick, which great scene for Rupert Everett. That really kind of, when this movie came out, the only two movies I had seen him in were Dunstan Checks In, where he is like the smarmy, sniveling bad guy,
which is a kids movie, yes,
right. And then Cemetery Man, where he's like the sexy zombie killer.
Yes.
I didn't know the dude was gay until this came out, and this was kind of like it was like his coming out party. This movie was essentially, right?
Yeah. And he also you might remember better than I do. Was he out at the time?
I think this movie is what prompted it. Just kind of like with Nathan Lane and Birdcage. Like this is the movie that kind of like, I guess I'm gay. He was also in a movie called Bee Monkey too with A.J. Argento, but I think I saw that after this.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, no. This movie, it's so funny. This movie is your choice. So this is a romantic comedy. When I was a teenager and a video store bootlegger, I had a descrambler and I'd copy all the movies we rented. I always kept a copy of My Best Friend's Wedding in my collection for when girls came over.
Right.
And I put it like kind of front and center. Oh yeah. Well, because they always picked it and they always liked it. And like I have a very vivid memory of this being the movie that we would watch when girls came over because it was like the only romantic comedy on my shelf. Anyway, good choice. I have to go back and rewatch that. It's been a minute. I just remember a lot of smoking.
I know. I think on Letterboxd, because I saw it, I was like, he didn't rate it that great. But who knows? You might like it on a rewatch. And again, we also know that a lot of these people are like terrible in this movie. Like Dermot Mulroney's terrible,
right.
And fucking Julia Roberts is terrible as characters. And we're just kind of like, leave Kimmy and fucking Rupert Everett alone. Like, my God, like they're just trying to live their lives.
Yeah.
Jeez.
There's also a line of dialogue I hate in this movie. The whole thing at the end where she's talking about how she's fungus and he's like, no, you're like, oh, I hate that whole line of dialogue, but whatever. It's little things like that I get super judgmental, and that might be why I have a low rating on
I know.
Letterboxd.
There are things, and it's hard to make you to like her. But
Yeah.
I don't think the thing is to like her really, which
No,
is
it
why
needs-
the ending
yeah.
changed too. Like she was supposed to find a man at the end at the wedding or whatever, and then people were like, "No, fuck her! Like, what are we doing?"
Yeah.
But more so, it's her best friend of the gay guy who gets to have her in the end and all that. So that was nice.
Right. They just have like a platonic friendship that lasts forever, and then it turns into the object of my affection and stuff like that. But it's a whole
100%.
different
Yes.
All right. Okay, so now to my number one, and you knew this was going to be on my list. I
Oh,
told you it was going to be
100%.
on my list, and of course, it's number one. Harold and Maude is like my favorite romantic comedy of all time.
Oh, it's so good.
It'd probably be on your list too, but you knew I was bringing it, so
I think I knew you were bringing it, and I already knew I was like, I already kind of knew that, but I'm totally fine with that because I mean, I even just recently did it on my show, again because I was doing Opposites Attract for my February. So I mean, this is kind of the penultimate of that. But goddamn, this movie is so good, and especially thinking through it for the episode, it just is so. It's everything from like even the Cat Stevens score I think is really fun,
Perfection.
very easy
Mhm.
listening.
Mhm.
But I also just love that like this really is. We've talked about Manny Pixie Dream Girls, and I'm sure we'll do an episode on that too, at some point. But I really do love that like truly. I just like that this is kind of. It's sort of a beginning of that, I guess, but it's also like it's just a movie about like finding your tribe
Mhm.
and finding your people, and that's what I've really gathered. And I don't know how much of a following this movie has in the gay community or whatever. And again, everything suspects to be being gay, but I really do think like I want more queer people to watch this because first off, it's the father from But I'm a Cheerleader, which is fun.
Mhm.
Megan's dad. But also, and that was very much probably intentional,
Very much
on
so,
their
yeah.
front. But like, yeah, of course, because how could you not have Mink Stoll and Bud Cort as the parents of that? But what I love though is that it really is about this found stuff. Like Harold and Maude, I really do believe. Like I believe their chemistry. I believe that they fall in love with one another,
Right.
and that they are kind of for each other. And it's just something where, yeah. And then also having the idea that like maybe it wasn't until I looked at the plot of the movie and I think I realized that like Maude was born in like the late 1800s and
Mhm.
she's, pretty much 80 years old when she dies. But the thing is, she also was like a concentration camp survivor and
Mhm.
like she has seen the horrors of the world. Like she's seen hell, for all intents and purposes. And the fact that I think that's what kind of prompted her to live life carefree and not really give a shit what people think of her, but like also like have this sort of lookout on life.
Mhm.
And the fact that she's also able in some way to help Harold see more of his life and make him think differently, and just by being a person, I thought was really cool. Like, yeah. I'm talking too much about it. This is your number one, but
No,
yes,
but
I thought
that's
this movie
the
fucking
thing.
rocked.
I'm so glad you like it. I feel that. So for one, the screenwriter Colin Higgins, he's kind of like my dude. He wrote Foul Play. He wrote Silver Streak with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor, but he wrote one of our favorites, 9 to 5. Like this is a guy, and Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, he directed. This was a guy that just like really kind of spoke to me of like the evolution of comedy from the early 70s up until the mid 80s when blockbusters kind of took over. I feel like Wes Anderson is definitely defined by the aesthetic of this movie and the characterizations. Harold essentially is the archetype for any Wes Anderson character who wears suits, quirky cars, the suicide attempts. His mom, super waspy, who just kind of dismisses all of his fake suicide attempts. And the only time she gets really emotionally upset is when he actually, is deciding that he loves an 80-year-old woman and not one of these girls that she brings into her circle.
Using the computer, by the way.
The old-fashioned dating, computer dating, yeah, like old-school Tinder that your mom operates. Yeah, the quirkiness of this movie, it kind of is that new Hollywood era birth of quirk, but also the fact that these are non-conformity people in a world that's hyper conformed. Like the mom has like this idea of what he needs to be based off of their wealth and their privilege, and he is everything against that. And that's what Maud represents. And the fact that they like are both funeral enthusiasts, I think that's cool. I think that kind of goes to Fight Club, where Edward Norton gets addicted to support groups. I feel it's very similar. If Fincher really wanted to do a trick, he would have had like a Maud and a Harold in the background just to like for us cinephiles.
Exactly.
But
well, what's interesting too is that I think Harold's also he's kind of he doesn't really want to go through he doesn't want to go through the kind of thing of his mom, right? Like the wealth that they have and all this. But I also think there's something to be said where he is kind of almost crying out for attention in a way. And his mom doesn't pay that much attention to him. And, I think it also remind me, did his father die or are they like divorced? Like him and his.
I believe his father is dead.
Okay, so I think that also has why he has this morbid fascination with death, right? Is that like he has this sort of thing, and again, he's sort of acting because he's 20, right? So like he's acting out a little bit, but I think it's because he wants attention from his mom in a way, and she's not giving that to him because she's just like, no, you should like just follow what I'm doing for you and like get married and stuff. And Maud actually gives him attention and love and like is actually here for him. You know what I mean? Like where his family, especially after the mom, after her father died or whatever, but like, I don't know. Like, it's just one of those things where I think he's very much wanting this from somebody. And the fact that Maud is able to give it to him and give him a different perspective in life is really cool.
Well, it also speaks, I think, to his fear of masculinity or whatever traditional masculinity is defined as, you know?
That's true.
There's that, but also the fact that I feel like he's a very asexual person because he doesn't have love in his life. And then when he does actually feel that true love for Maud, and there is that controversial, he just slept with an 80-year-old woman. But again, that's what kind of like is the awakening of his masculinity and his desire to be physically intimate with somebody. Because all the girls that his mom brought, they're gorgeous, right?
Yeah,
like,
girls,
these are cute little girls. But he is on an intellectual and a pretentious level way above that. He needs someone to challenge him for him to feel attractive or attracted to the person. That's what Maud represents. And again, that's a story that like, I think that's been told in, let's say, classic, let's say Bronte novels and Austen novels, but it was never made as accessible in such a quirky and funny way as this movie brought it, in my opinion. And people always make the thing, well, you couldn't make that movie if you switched the roles, if it was an old man and a young girl. I'm like, that's kind of the point, right? The whole point is that like it breaks the norm of a young man falling in love with an older woman, and she's not there to just screw him. It's not a sexual thing. She sees a person that needs to learn to love and live life, and that's where it starts. And where it goes from there is anyone's guess,
Right.
So,
these are two different movies, but yes, like this is not The Graduate, okay?
It's not The Graduate, yeah.
And I love Dustin Hoffman in some other roles he's been in. Like even though I don't love John Voight, like I actually like Midnight Cowboy, and I think both of them are really good in it.
Uh-huh.
If you know, you know. But so there's that, and like I like him in Tootsie and stuff, but I don't love him as Benjamin in The Graduate because I think he's a wiener. And
I think he's total wiener.
Yeah, totally.
I think Ryan O'Neal should have played that part. Oh
yeah, he's also terrible, but like also like it could have worked, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Like we need somebody else who could do this. But I love Dustin Hoffman in other roles. That's fine.
Yeah.
But the thing with this is that like, yeah, those are not similar roles, but like again, it's the older woman thing, right? But in this situation, I really do think, like you said, they just match really perfectly. I love him at the end when he's playing his banjo and he's destroyed his car and all this stuff. And he's just able to finally fucking live. And I also can get into the idea that Maud, I'm always not a fan of, but like I'm more than okay with people who want to kind of like do assisted suicide, like especially if your quality of life isn't going to be great.
It's their
like
own
if
choice.
you want to do that, like whatever. And she does choose that in a way, like her quality of life isn't bad, but she's like, no, I'm ending it when I'm 80. No, that's what I'm doing, you know? So, and she made that choice, which is fine. And it breaks his heart in a way, but like it also, she's just done so much for him, and not in any sort of, I don't know. It's because she wants to, because I really do think she loves him. And I just think that's really cool. And this is also something where I think this movie also, maybe it's gotten its flowers within the last few years or whatever, but like you could still like do something, you know, people are still inspired by this film. I knew about it, funny enough, because I'm a kid of the 90s, 2000s.
Something About
I knew
Mary?
it from what is it?
From Something About Mary?
No, I knew about it from a cartoon show called As Told by Ginger,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is on Nickelodeon.
Nope.
There's literally the second episode of that whole series is called HAROLD and MAUDE, and Carl is Ginger's little brother. It's like a weirdo, right? But he goes to this like nursing home that I think Ginger is doing like community service at or something, and he goes to this and he meets this woman named Maude, and he's very much like, him and her are very much about like pranking people and just kind of being like weirdos together. And I just remember, and obviously it's a Carl and Maude, it's Harold and Maude, it's pretty much that, except the Carl is like 10 or something, so he's not like an adult. But it's funny because like then you can look at Harold and Maude and be like, oh, Emily Kapnick absolutely watched this before. Like, how could she not have? Like, it's a direct reference.
Right.
And also Maude dies in the little cartoon show and also comes back as a ghost at some point in the show somewhere. Anyway, whatever. But still, it's like just one of these things where this movie from 1971, which is like turning 55, is literally just like, it is still such a movie that is like resonant to people. And I think that's really cool. That I'm just like, yeah, and I 100% believe it is a really good romantic comedy for those who want to do this. It's not your typical type one, but goddamn if it isn't good in my opinion. So yeah, totally.
Cool. I love it. This was a great conversation. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. We definitely have to do Manic Pixie Dream Girls because that's just I want to hear the queer opinion of Manic Pixie Dream Girls because I got mine. I just had a conversation I had earlier about Manic Pixie Dream Girls and movies. I'm like, yeah, it's like in my 20s, that's what I wanted. And now in my 40s, I'm like, thank God I didn't chase the Manic Pixie Dream Girl. Not because of them, but because of me. Like I was a different person back then. And there's something about being younger and being attracted to chaos and quirk. But if you're not the kind of person that can be chaotic and quirky back, then it's kind of just you're falling in love with a gimmick and you're not doing any good for yourself or the other person. But that doesn't mean that I'm still like kind of obsessed with the idea of a Manic Pixie Dream Girl. But yeah,
it's really interesting. You know, it's so funny. Yeah, we'll have to we'll borrow that for another time. But
for sure.
It's definitely something where I'm like, I was just thinking about a movie where I'm like, you know, she's not a Manic Pixie Dream Girl, but I definitely am just like fascinated by her. Oh my God. Anyway, we're gonna have to talk about it another time. But no, I totally believe that and I agree with it. And it's very much like, yeah, we'll have to see about that and talk about it because I'm just like fascinated.
All right, we'll shelve that for that episode.
And plus also, yeah, like we don't have many of those in the gay community, really. Again, it's very interesting. But yeah, for sure. But this has been a fun conversation though. I've enjoyed it. I like a romantic comedy. I love a horror movie mostly, as listeners of my show might know. And, you know, we love horror here, but like, you know, I definitely like a romantic comedy here and there. And I'm always interested to see what else is out there and to see like other points of view of it or, you know, just looking at this sort of genre, I guess, because you have the pretty good that are in here and then also the not so good, I guess. But I think also it's always a matter of like people like seeing people in love and people like love, I guess. So
yeah, for sure.
It makes enough sense that this could be a lucrative kind of genre for people to want to watch.
And you've got some homework to do. You know, I threw a few movies out there that you haven't seen. You got to go catch up with those. So yeah, and I got to go back and rewatch My Best Friend's Wedding just to give it another chance.
Maybe 13 going on 30, but I'll allow if you don't want to watch it. Or
I will watch them. I will watch them both back to back. I'll take my medicine in one dose.
Yeah, and then also go back and watch like Valley Girl and all these things. And
I'll watch Valley Girl and Some Kind of Wonderful anytime.
You should always watch them, no matter what. Yeah. It's always good.
That should be just regular viewing.
But thank you so much for having me on your show, though. It's always been nice.
Yeah, man. Like that's the thing is like I love being on your show. I'm glad that you came back on mine, and we'll just kind of keep this going. But so everyone, please go like, rate, subscribe to Cult Cinema Circle and to the Cultworthy. We're the Cult guys for sure. And and you can find Jesse's information in the Cultworthy Partners section of thecultworthy.com. Just look for that little purple icon that says Cult Cinema Circle. I'll take all the links of his show. So again, man, thank you so much. And I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye.